missed a lot of sunsets when we lived on land, but as a cruiser, never. Hi, I'm Carolyn Sherlock, and on this episode of the Boat Galley Podcast, I share some charming rituals for celebrating the end of the day. This episode of the Boat Galley Podcast is sponsored by FastSeas.com. Budget-friendly weather routing and passage planning for cruisers by a cruiser. Plan your next passage using FastSeas.com. Whether you're after speed or comfort, FastSeas will find the optimum route to your destination. Use coupon code BG20 for an exclusive 10% discount. FastSeas, making weather routing simple. Are you a sunset freak? I sure am. Living on land, I wasn't as attuned to nature. I'd notice sunsets if I happened to be driving then, or out camping or on the water. But not as an everyday thing. A ritual, really. Cruising, sunset is much more meaningful. It's the end of light if we're on passage. It's when the stars come out and hopefully put on a magical show. And it can be stunning sky paintings. And cruisers have developed a number of traditions for sunset. Here in the Florida Keys and the Bahamas, you'll hear the conch horns blowing as the sun slips below the horizon. The first to blow are usually beginners, a little wobbly in tone. But right as the top edge of the sun passes out of sight, the pros will chime in with incredibly long, constant tones. The first time I heard the conch horns, I was taken by surprise. Over the years, I've come to love sitting in the cockpit and listening to the end of day. After Hurricane Irma a couple of years ago, which just devastated Boot Key Harbor, where I'm based, no conch horn sounded for at least 3 weeks after the storm. And then, one night, there was finally one. A bit trembling, sort of like our lives right then. Nonetheless, it was the talk of the net the following morning, a little return to normalcy. The next night, a few more chimed in, and each subsequent night had a few more. Who knew that a simple horn could mean so much? Now let's go back to when we were cruising the Sea of Cortez. It's known for stunning sunsets due to the dust in the air from the desert Baja Peninsula. There, we didn't hear conch horns. There really aren't many conch left there. But if there was an especially stunning sunset, you'd be sure to hear the call on the VHF. Sunset alert! Sunset alert! It was a signal to drop whatever you were doing and go out on deck if you weren't already there. And then let's talk about the green flash. If the sky meets the sea where the sun sets, that is, no land between you and the horizon, there's a chance of seeing a green flash right as the sun slips below the horizon. They're rare. I've only seen one once in my cruising years, and that's been 12 years. I've seen pictures of a couple others. But it's always fun to look for them if you're in a location where there's an unobstructed view of the horizon, and anchorages with such a view tend to have daily gatherings to watch for one. The next sunset tradition is a little more fun. Not as much of a ritual. It's a dinghy drift. It's essentially happy hour on a bunch of rafted up dinghies, almost always timed to coincide with sunset. Everyone brings their own drinks, perhaps a snack to share, and good times and laughter ensue with someone suddenly pointing out the sunset. And then we all know about sunsetters. Almost everywhere has some sort of a tradition of drinks, alcoholic or not, at sunset. It's a common time to get together with friends, new or old, and chat about the day and make plans for the future. Even if it's just your family or partner on board with you, it's still a great time to relax and share dreams. I can't tell you the number of major decisions that Dave and I have made at sundown to go ahead and sell everything, twice, for 2 different boats, where we've headed next, or that we need to deal with medical issues to undertake various boat projects, or not? How often have we pulled out the chart books and planned ahead, or just sat in silence and enjoyed the life we've chosen to lead? I hope you enjoy the sunset tonight. And please, if you enjoy this episode of the Boat Galley Podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends. Thank you.